Hello, and welcome back to my 5-year plan playthrough of RP-1. We've got the lunar mapper building. We'll leave that stage and orbit as a rendezvous target. And I've also got to build some kind of docking target, which I will deal with at some point.
I'm gonna
I
do
guess,
something Gina style.
yeah, I mean, given that this... Oh, yeah, I'm doing this in the wrong order. I really should do this first. Well, we've got a bunch of time to wait in between. The problem is that launching Soyuz missions is expensive.
Yes.
It's like double the build points of Voskhod. I mean, it's rather more than double the capability, but
Yeah. Although you are cooping up the people in Voskhod for 10 days, or at least that's the plan. So
uh, I didn't end up doing that. I was doing the lunar mapper instead.
okay, right. You were thinking of doing it to them.
Yeah, but the problem is the mission training is lengthy.
Yes. No, I'm just saying like the
But yes, I
capability
was,
to stuff
yes.
people into that
Yeah,
billion
that would be
vault.
pretty neat. I mean, admittedly, there was like a 14-day Gemini mission. That's just mind-boggling.
Yeah. I guess, if David Blaine can do it, I can get an astronaut to do it.
Yeah. So conveniently, if I do the thing of requiring orbital rocketry to do these, then it soaks up some of the science. But I think there's still too much mid-game science.
Yep. I mean, there's also too much endgame science.
I mean, yes, but that's that's understood to be true. um,
Really sure how to address that and still keep the biome model without like doing something that violates the way KSP's core science system is set up, like for instance diminishing returns per biome on experiments,
yeah,
or that like just devalues the value of going to further planets too much. Like, okay, get as much science from Earth as you do from Mars or Jupiter. That seems weird, but
yeah, yep.
I suppose we could be extremely parsimonious with late game science and then require something like the MPL.
Yeah, but I feel like as long as there's, like, if that's true, then outer planet probes kind of lose their utility. So,
I think if I had it to do over again, I might do something like 2 science currencies, something like that, one for late game that gets spent on other things.
hmm, yeah, I can see that.
Kind of what we have right now. It becomes useless as a technology cost thing and becomes mostly there for the confidence you get out of it.
Yeah. All right. I wonder if I actually have the throw to do lunar sample return. Maybe, maybe not.
Your avionics tech ad.
Yeah, I guess my avionics tech is kind of the problem.
Yeah, hard to do it if you're paying 150 kilograms for just the avionics.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, let's launch this. We might have an idle VAB for a bit.
Another way to tackle it is to get rid of using science points for technology at all, and just have more science requirements as part of programs.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
I have to get 100 points of moon science to be able to just complete this program, for instance, add some
Yeah,
combination of
yeah.
aggregates plus
Yep.
specifics plus et cetera, which
Yep.
we've already done in a couple of contracts like that lunar mapper contract. And also maps much better to reality anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's already effectively the case that tech costs money because of researcher salaries.
Exactly, yeah.
And if we just change the ratio on that, then. Yeah, there is something to be said for, in the same way that Factorio science works. Like it takes the next level of science experiments to get to the next materials and electronics research blue skies. Say like I think apart from like a different implementation of your two science currencies idea is that science is no longer really fungible.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would do that for a realistic spaceflight thing. What I might consider instead is that until I get, until I start a lunar program, I don't get access to the ability to research some of the relevant technology.
That feels even worse to me.
How so?
Because it absolutely should be the case that you shouldn't be prohibited on what you can do with your space program dependent on what programs you have active. Like that's really locking you into stuff in a way that I think is kind of unhealthy.
I guess so. I'm thinking of it more as, uh, necessity is the mother of invention. Like you didn't need lunar rated heat shields until you got some program that really wants you to bring back something from the moon.
You still need them for geostationary though, or any kind of Earth space high. Let's see, do I want to bother? I think I decided to not bother upgrading the admin building.
Yeah, you've shied away from it. Although isn't the next upgrade relatively cheap compared to your current funding?
Yeah, I guess so. And it also completes fast.
I mean, if you want to be able to take, like geostationary or something like that while keeping
Yeah.
existing
Yeah, it'll
design,
pay for itself. It will definitely pay for itself.
Yeah. The fact that you haven't had to take it maybe means that we have been too generous with slots, or it's too easy to complete some of these programs.
Yeah.
Or there's just not enough program.
Yeah, I think part of it is there aren't enough programs.
Yep.
$174 is 6 months, give or take. 6 months from now, September. So July is fine for that. All right, yeah, so we'll start cranking on the admin building. That completes soon. Completes reasonably soon. All right, so let's break even for the month. Seems fine. Other thing I can do is I can hire more researchers. That's always a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah, because like the admin building is not actually gonna.
Yeah, it takes some time to pay for itself. That's true.
Yeah, because like.
Researchers are better right now.
Yeah, like I would not expect to want to give this program up for like maybe a couple years on its funding. This still has decent funding. I mean, honestly, it'd probably be better to replace this because I have to get through another year of low funding before it actually gets to its one good year of funding. This I'll be getting rid of. I guess the advantage of the admin building is I can keep these two programs and swap this out for Crude Lunar.
Yes. Well, it's with the programs you've got right now, the admin building would end up paying for itself in about a year, one way or the other. But it's a year's, an investment of building it for.
Would it pay for it? Like,
well, you could take geostationary, which would give you more than 250 per year, or keep one of your existing ones.
But geostationary is 2 slots.
Yeah, doesn't the admin building give you 2 slots for an upgrade right now?
Oh, does it?
Yeah, that's what I thought we set it up as.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Should you be able to?
No, 1 slot.
What?
Yeah, I think I used more gradations than your last version with cheaper prices. Just because I'd already written the upgrade script and I think it may have already shipped or something.
Okay, yep. So you'd either need to do 2 upgrades or
to do geostationary, yeah.
Not as much of a deal as I thought it was.
Yeah. But the advantage is I can do that and then I can pretty soon take Crude Lunar without giving up the other 2 programs, which is relevant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then you might as well slow it down until you can take Crude Lunar.
Which I anticipate being. That's when I can do first docking. Give it another. Annoyingly few months. because I have to build the target and the Soyuz.
You could pre-build the target. No.
No, I can't because it needs to.
You need
Yeah.
the document.
Yeah. All right. So mid-November, unless I get more researchers. Mid-November 66, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, 65. Okay. Yeah, so I actually do want to do it near 100%.
Okay.
Interesting.
Just to verify, it's only one more point from crude orbit to crude lunar?
Yep. Yeah, I checked. Yeah, it's 2 more points under the revised thing, I think. But, because I think they're each 2-slot programs. But the old one was a 3-slot program.
Feels like advanced should still be a 3-slot program.
I mean, maybe it is. I don't remember I didn't set it up, so.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll do our lunar mapper launch.
Do you not want to hire more researchers?
I gotta wait for some of the other stuff to finish first because I need to save up to hire more engineers to make building Soyuz a not nutty prospect. And also my costs are going to go up once I start mission training for Soyuz. Squirrel, so it's super important that you can't, to answer your question about combining early contracts, it's super important that you can't combine required and optional contracts for, I think, fairly obvious reasons. Combining multiple required contracts early on is like a little iffier, but it's still not great because then you can just like blow through the program in just a few launches.
Yeah, I don't know of a program that has too many contracts in it. They all feel like either just enough or maybe could use 1 or 2 more.
Yep.
Certainly many of them could use more optionals.
Yet another night lunar launch. How it goes.
Generally, all those lockouts squirrel are because people find ways to dovetail dumb stuff. We don't want people to dovetail dumb stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think you well recall the bring a film camera along on your 3,000 kilometer downrange rocket meta.
There was all kinds of silly metas, like you could use the 3 megameter downrange to also complete return from space, something like that, by slapping a science core on it and watching that thing parachute down while the aerobie section keeps going. I think at the end of the day, people just got sick of trying to make the content track requirements so narrow them down so that you couldn't do a bunch of silly stuff with it at the same time. So they just put in lockouts instead.
Okay, let's go to the moon. Okay, so I'm burning a little weirdly because I want my periselene and AN to be on top of each other. If at all possible. Not quite.
You adjust your launch timing so that you come in flatter.
I don't want to come in flatter. I want to come in polar.
Oh.
Ironically, I would have been better served before, but because
Yeah, if you picked a time that sent you a
so 0 eccentricity, RP of 90 or 270, and inclination of 76.5 degrees, and SMA of 1863. Okay, that should be doable.
Could have also flown when the lunar window thing told you to go to a high inclination.
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
Up to about 40 degrees, you can end up more equatorial. Like a lot of the Apollo launch windows that ended up pretty equatorial in lunar orbit started out in weird inclinations.
Okay.
Like there's somebody had an Excel sheet, I think, for calculating it or something. I forget exactly. But yeah, it's a little counterintuitive.
It's not Squirrel. It's not about not using an Air Force rocket to do a Navy mission. It's about using the same rocket to do like 3 silly missions pushed together, which generally did not happen. Like you wouldn't use like the bottom stage of your Atlas as somebody's research project while you're also flying a Mercury on top of it.
Yeah, rideshare is definitely comes about a little later. Certainly for sounding rockets. All right, how expensive do I mean, given that I have the Delta V, I guess I might as well just, sure. That makes it a little more expensive, but I don't actually care that much.
There's got to be a way to come in at a higher inclination. That's what you wanted.
I don't particularly care what inclination I come in. I care that the AN and the periselene are on top of each other so I can change it cheaply after capture.
Okay.
And this is fine. It's not like I don't have the delta V for it, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if you know what would happen if we just took all of those lockouts, but people would do a downrange altitude, just a regular altitude sounding rocket, at least one of or more of the experiments, and the 3 megameter downrange all at once. Do you think that's better gameplay?
All right, so I'm going to save this and then mess around with launch timing and see what else I can do. Oops. Oh, because we're at 4 days already. That's why, because we're reaching plan end. Real slow transfer.
Yep. Efficient though.
Yep. Cheap capture. Problem is the plane change is actually going to be more expensive. Sort of funny.
Because your AN and E are not in the same place.
Yeah. Yeah, even if I captured like that with a highly elliptical capture, the DN would still only be about there, which would be an expensive plane change.
Can you adjust your binormal a bit?
I mean, that's what
match like you. Yeah.
That's what I was doing before.
Yeah.
And it
But
gets
before you had
expensive real fast.
Like, yeah, binormal, negative binormal might have been the answer.
Not really. I guess actually maybe. Oh, interesting. Now I'm coming around from the front side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have enough. I'm happy enough with my original maneuver. I'm just going to go to that.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
So Squirrel, I really don't like the thing you're suggesting. I really don't understand how it is different from what we have now, given that you only have to take the contract right before launch. So you absolutely can build both of those launch vehicles in parallel. There's no cooldowns on those, like those contracts. There's just cooldowns on the optionals. And the cooldowns aren't shared between the optionals. So you've already got what you're asking for. Oh yeah, right. I have to wait for comms to rotate to the node. Oops, went right by it. Great. Okay. I'm pretty sure CMAV did the thing for all the starting program contracts where the mass isn't variable. Okay, and let's go ahead and target one of these at Luna 11 just to have a little more chance of comms relay. Okay. It's always something. Either too much or too little. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. DN is way over there. Arg. Okay, so in 5 minutes, let's perform a maneuver that will fix this. Oops. Wrong way. Oh, we're literally right on the equator at that point.
I mean, putting your periapsis at the equator is how you'd end up doing it anyway.
Yeah. I just mean, sorry. I was, obviously the periapsis is the equator. I misspoke. I mean, we're coming in almost perfectly equatorial, which also
Okay.
makes sense for how we could get the AN there, or the
Yep.
DN. I guess we could have just done this on the probe, which might have been smarter. Yeah, 300 kilometers is higher, but it means we have a, because we're going to do the minimal capture, we don't want to screw things up too bad. And 300 kilometers is fine. Eh. I'll do it with the engine. Uh-oh. There. Wish I could throttle this, but no. Let's see how much we overburn a 4 meter per second burn. Honestly, I think the better idea is to not try to do that. Because if I burn the engine, it's going to mess things way the heck up.
Yeah, that's a 1/6 of a second burn. That's
Yeah. See what other experiments we need to turn on. Uh-oh, I have a sinking suspicion about this one.
oh, what's wrong?
Mac, oh no, it just has an inclination requirement. Does one of these have an eccentricity requirement? Min-X, yeah. So mass spec 2 is not actually going to work because it requires a min eccentricity of 0.1. And there is no way that we can reasonably have a min eccentricity of 0.1.
Yep.
So that's sad. So much for doing that in a frozen orbit.
Is that the only mass spectrometer you sent?
No, but we won't get lunar space low. Let's see what that did. Okay, I feel like that's close enough now. All right. So let's do a capture. Wrong way. Why is the DN there? That's not making any sense. Oh. Yes, it's making sense. Because it's the moon. And the moon is hungry. Yikes. Yeah, moon be hungry. So we have to do that to have a sane DN. That said, it's still a very cheap DN.
Sorry, what are you doing?
So we have to have a tighter capture because it's such a loose capture, we just get perturbed by the Earth way too much.
But if you're doing a loose capture, you'd be doing a maneuver at AP anyway. So.
Yeah, but I want the DN to be near AP.
Oh.
So that it's sufficiently cheap.
Maybe this chart of inclinations and eccentricities doesn't go for higher SMAs.
I mean, yeah. but also higher SMAs, you start to actually have to have specific lands. Four days, 11 hours, and 20 minutes. Yeah, okay, I guess we do want a looser capture then.
Yeah, as long as your apoapsis is close to the equator, even if the DN seems like it's
Yep.
rotated way off, it shouldn't matter.
Yep. Oh, did I just flip it? Yeah. Made it retrograde. Cool. All right, and then we need another maneuver, which is somewhere around here. Okay, so I said 76.2 with an RP of either 90 or 270. Because sine of 90 and 270 is 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. What's...
Well, sine of 270 is -1, which ends up mattering in that chart.
Yes. Yes, but it doesn't matter if eccentricity is 0.
Yeah. Yep.
That said, something is... I wonder if this is actually true. But because sine of 0 is 0, doesn't that mean we can have whatever eccentricity we want? Or am I missing? That may be a weird corner case or something. Because it's e times sine of RP, and if sine of RP is 0,
Yep. But then you only have one inclination option. Right?
I mean, for the chart I'm looking at for an SMA of 1863 kilometers, there's two options. One at 70, there's like 4 options. 5? 5. 5 options.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
That said, we can't have any eccentricity we want because we have an SMA requirement.
Sure. But beyond that, like,
yeah. Let me quick check orbital eccentricity. What would give us an eccentricity of 0.01? .40 kilometers by 435 kilometers. What's the SMA of that? Let's see.
40 by 400.
40 by 435. So plus 17, whatever, and then divided by 2.
The SMA of that is going to end up being 19.
Yeah, so too high. Okay. So yeah, we can't reasonably get a orbit with eccentricity sufficient for mass spec any of the pre-computed frozen orbits that we have.
Yeah, I think that's why the chart ends where it does. The vertical axis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
You could try and extrapolate what these things might look like at a somewhat higher SMA, because the one for 1863 and the one for 1888 don't look that different in certain places.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll stick with 1888 or 1833 or 60. Yeah, whatever. Right. So let's get to space low.
There seems to be asymptotes at like 66-ish degrees that are the same in all the charts. 60, I mean, that's the highest one. Highest inclination one.
All right, there's 99 kilometers. That seems fine. And there's that. And our inclination is only 50 degrees. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. All right, so there needs to be a bunch more here. $68, not quite enough. Now we're getting close. $84 degrees. Don't need as much here. $229. $214. $126, getting close. Uh-oh. 43 is a little too close to the moon's surface. $61.
Are you going for zero eccentricity?
I basically want an eccentricity of 0.
Okay. Are you going for the 50-kilometer orbit or 80-kilometer one?
Let's see. 180. So we want 1833, I guess, for an SMA.
1838?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
1838, sorry.
I need a periapsis of 100 kilometers.
Hmm?
Sorry, I was saying you need a periapsis of 100 kilometers.
Yeah, they both need to be about 100.
Yep.
Well, all this is sort of immaterial because I need to actually burn the capture first.
Yeah, that's true. You'll have to
And
get
then
to base.
I'll be out of whack from all these fancy extra maneuvers.
And you know you can do it. You've got tons of it with Delta V, so.
Yeah. Yep, so let's just do it. Whoops. What did I just hit? Oh, I turned on auto land. I thought I was closing the dialog. Goodness only knows what that did.
Hopefully it didn't bork you.
I mean, I'm sure it's correctable somehow. I mean, looks like it's fine. Give or take. Like there's the 21-hour thing. Okay, so 19 hours. Let us first turn that down a little bit just so it's not so crowded. And then bunch of binormal. And some prograde out to 100 kilometers. Reasonably close. Okay. There's that. Now the real question is,
What's that inclination?
yes. Visually, that doesn't look like it's quite right yet. But maybe it is.
Doesn't look like you're far off.
Yeah. So we'll add another maneuver. It's in whatever the delta there is, which is probably like yeah, it would have been okay. 18 hours. $325.
Yeah, last time you needed more like 600.
171. Yeah. Okay, that's reasonably close. I absolutely despise the fact that it freezes for a second and it screws everything up.
Yep. That's annoying.
All right. That's pretty close. Wait, why do we have impacts? What's our inclination?
Because
Our inclination is not high enough. We're just about right with our SMA, but
those impacts are projections from your current orbit, not from the maneuvered orbit.
oh, yeah, you're right. That's why. All right, so we have the option of actually it looks about like 77. So let's go with 77. Not quite.
You could cheaply do a small amount of correction during your apsis lowering if you just want to fix it slightly.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and bring that down a little bit. Oops, a little far. Okay, that'll work. Oops, a little far. We want 1838. I feel like my inclination is still not quite high enough. Like visually at the chart. Maybe it's right. Close to 77 degrees. Yeah, I guess it's about right. All right, SMA correct, that's correct. Eccentricity is wrong. Nope, wrong way. Let's fix eccentricity. All right. That's pretty good. I feel like that's correct.
Yeah, if anything on the chart, I think it's lower than 77, like 76.5.
Well, I'm at 76.66, so that's pretty good. Or 76.67.
Okay.
Okay, lowest altitude 94 kilometers. Let's look at it over, I guess, 90 days. It's going to chug. Lowest altitude is 65 kilometers, but we're not crashing. All right. Let's try that and see if that fixes our SMA over the long term. Yeah. Slight overshoot. All right, that's pretty close.
Yep.
Inclination is a little higher than desired. If you're aligning it correctly, which I have every faith in. What did I just... Oh, it did the chug thing again.
Yep.
Where were we at? Minus 218 or something?
Yep.
79.
Can you move that lunar orbit window over so it's not overlapping other stuff? It's kind of...
Yeah. All right. That's still too high. 76.4. That sounds more like what you were talking about.
Yep.
I'll goose it just a tiny bit. Um,
I mean, if you look at it looks very frozen to me.
okay, so we need to make this higher. Oh, that's interesting. That looks like a retrograde inclination now. How's that working? Nope. Am I looking at the wrong side of the moon? That's weird. Was I maybe minus instead of plus? I don't know. Because I could swear that it was this way. Yeah, it was plus before. That's why. Okay. That makes more sense.
Now your inclination is way off.
Yep.
Well, I guess you were at 218 before.
All right. That's fine. Scrub this back. But the important thing is what we're actually going to be after 90 days. Okay, so this is a little much. Overshot. That's pretty close. Now we have to mess with the time to change the eccentricity. That made no difference. Also made no difference.
You may need a little bit more retrograde.
Why would you say that?
Well, I'm looking at the moon, and all your P's are spread out on one side, and all the APs are spread out on the other.
Yeah, but like varying the time of the burn isn't changing the eccentricity.
Right. So that means
So,
that the
yes.
eccentricity is, yeah.
Yeah, but that means,
You're either adding too little or too much energy.
so yeah, my hunch is that yeah, both of these are under 100. So yeah, we need to make this a little higher. Or actually, sorry. Yeah. No. Make this a little lower. And then loosen this. So 5.9. Which,
I mean, I think you should just do that next burn and then do a little bit of retrograde and prograde to get your plan P at exactly 100, and then you'll be fine.
no. It has to be lower than 100. Like
Why?
we just proved this. Because this was, so like our first P was 97, right?
What was it?
Okay, now we can vary the time. All right, that's fine. All right, now we get a little bit of performance back. Yeah, there's 117 by 81. Let's scrub time a little bit. Wrong way. Yeah, this needs to go higher. You're right. All right, that's fine.
I mean, I'm just
So
going
yeah,
from the fact that the SMA needs to essentially mean you're in a 100-kilometer orbit, right? With zero eccentricity.
yeah. Okay, let's see what we got.
I think this burn should have been inertially fixed.
Why do you say that?
Because we're chasing the node around, so we're wasting delta V. Not that you don't have tons, but
Generally, inertially fixed is actually more expensive in terms of delta V.
yes, generally, if you're doing a prograde or retrograde maneuver, yes, but if you're doing a binormal maneuver, no.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, cool. So where's the first periapsis?
Is that the one all the way on the left?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
100
So
kilometers too high.
that seems to be making zero difference. Yeah. I guess it's mostly changing inclination.
What is changing inclination?
I'm burning forward and backwards.
Oh yeah, because you're still aiming it by normal.
Yep. Okay. What do we get out of that? 100. Cool.
Nice.
All right. Now,
Kind of a shame you can't just click somewhere and say, give me my orbital elements right here.
yep. That would be extremely useful. But that's not how it works, though, because at best it can give you a patch conic approximation of your orbital elements right there. Right? Like, they don't have meaning unless you're in a closed orbit.
Yes, that's correct. But I mean, the patch conic projection is the unless you walk time forward. But I mean, you really want to know things like what is my altitude right here? What is my current inclination right here? What is my yeah. Those have a meaning, you know, like just as a like instantaneous value.
Yeah. Okay. So
You'll have to correct inclination and ended up wrong.
yep. Yeah, eccentricity is also even worse. Um, All right. There's that. Yeah, so we want to be higher, which means that needs to come up a little bit, such that this can now go there. Such that these, at 110 approximately, we can take down a little bit. Get our desired SMA. And that will give us better eccentricity. So this still needs to come up some more.
As long as you get the SMA right, and your RP still ends up close to the equator.
I mean, if eccentricity is 0, it doesn't matter where RP is.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, if you end up with your RP at close to the equator anyway, then eccentricity doesn't matter.
Yes, that's true. Eccentricity is still higher than I want it to be.
It's 0017 with a variation of 0017. So
yeah.
it's going between 0 and 0034.
Yeah, which is not too bad, but it's not where I want it to be.
Yep.
This is looking a little, maybe slightly better. Yes.
Yep. That's pretty good.
Now it's increasing inclination, though. Not inclination, sorry, eccentricity. Yeah, it's almost 0.002. Oops, minimum is 0.16. And the reason for that is because PE is, oh, no, that's, periapsis is 107. And these are generally 100, 99. All right, so we overshot.
I think maybe you do the maneuver.
That's better. Yeah, that's better. I'm satisfied with that. How long is that going to last? Oh, that's convenient. We're still facing the sun just enough, I guess.
Yep. Definitely don't want to reorient and rebase with all the monkeying you've done to get that exactly
Yes.
right.
All right, let's do this. Finally. It's very convenient that we were mostly sun aligned. We were aligned correctly before, and we were aligned very near the maneuver now.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did mostly a program maneuver before.
Yep.
Now you're doing mostly a retrograde
Yep.
on the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
side. Yep. So, all good. And you have comms.
Mm-hmm. So I can correct on RCS. It's genuinely tempting to see if I would stay frozen with a high eccentricity with this RP. But
Yeah,
the
that's what I was suggesting.
inclination would alter because, yeah.
I was suggesting we looked at that chart and kind of extrapolate another graph up.
Yep.
Because there's definitely parts of it that look like they stayed the same between the two highest graphs.
Yeah, it looks like it's sort of like the high inclination stuff is gradually getting flatter the higher your SMA.
Yes. I think if you'd wanted to have that high eccentricity orbit, you would have had to take the 65, 66 degree inclination and then miss some of the poles, but out in the mass spec.
Why is that? Like, if I have my RP correct, like if my RP is 90, sorry, is 0,
Right.
then I would expect to keep high inclination.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Because you could still keep your eccentricity times sine. Yeah, whatever you wanted. Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it just seems unlikely to me that that's actually a thing that would work, just based on the mass cons.
Well, if it's the mass cons, then the mass cons are affecting you similarly in higher orbits. It's the fact that Earth is perturbing you more when you're in a higher SMA orbit that matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, you wouldn't have needed an SMA that much higher, like 1930 or something like that.
All right, so in practice, this is a more of a eccentric orbit than I wanted.
Well, you can wait till you're at 100 kilometers and then make a correction.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
at 105, which means you came in too high. You ended up too high for some reason. There was no correction you could make because you were at 105.
Yep. Okay, so radial in. Wait until we get bang on 100. Well, slightly over 100. All right. Our eccentricity now is 0.024. Interesting. Still high. So what we actually want is something more like this. That lowered it a little bit, but not quite enough. And we're at, but I think this is probably good enough.
Yeah, I think it was probably good enough a while ago.
Yeah, because this is fairly close to 0, and that's fairly close to 0. Oh no, I'm dumb. This is, no, RP. RP is just about 1. So that's not so good. So this is, we actually do need to fix our eccentricity. I'm just a little confused as to how. Nope, that's making no difference. That made it worse.
So if you look at that graph, the curve you're looking at 76.5 degrees is very vertical. It's very high slope, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those gradations on the left, like the smallest gradations is 0.002 of eccentricity.
Yep.
So I would say that because we can't get the inclination that correct, that perfect, we don't even know exactly where we're at. And you're probably, like we're within the margin of error being able to read that graph.
Yeah, so we want good eccentricity then. And also it'd be nice to have argument of periapsis on the equator instead of where it is now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, we can't see whether we're, like, it should be at 76.4 or 76.8 or whatever.
Right.
So because of that, like, we're within a margin of error that, I don't know, I guess I could try and get a ruler out. And...
Yeah.
know what the dotted versus the solid line is supposed to mean?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. So we'll analyze it this way. That's bad for eccentricity. Yeah, how did I mess up eccentricity that badly?
I don't know.
Oh, this is over 7 days instead of like over 2 days.
My guess is because of the slope of that graph, we don't know what the inclination we're at might be off instead of the other elements. Because I think we can see the other
Yeah,
elements
that's
better.
true.
But getting within like half a degree, and it actually does matter quite a bit being
Yep.
half a degree because that slope is very high.
Yep. All right, well, this seems fine. Or as fine as we can make it.
Yeah.
All right, we survived 90 days,
Yay.
it looks like.
It's gotta mean something.
Lowest altitude 64 kilometers. Yeah, that seems okay. Yeah, eccentricity of 0.01. Which means the inclination is higher, and given that our inclination is higher, I think that's okay. Oh wait, except, no, RP is negative.
But it varies by 100 degrees.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so every 83 days we restart our cycle, which means we survive, it looks like. So that's nice.
Is that what does the subcycle and cycle mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just guessing. Now, we did just alter it again.
That can't have done much.
Yeah, I don't assume it did.
I think you set an alarm in 90 days, because you know you'll survive for 90 days. Just come back and...
No, it's fine. It's...
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. We're done. It annoys me that I can't do mass spec.
You could wait till all your other experiments are done and then try for something.
I mean... Yeah, I could do the weird thing of try to have an equatorial periselene and then higher eccentricity and see what we think that's going to do to the graph, because my hypothesis is that it's going to even out a little bit in that inclination range.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if you've done all the other experiments, it's worth a shot, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's not like the probe's going to do me any good. I mean, same with the other probe that has one on it.
Yeah. More specifically, if the only way to get a mass spectrometer is to do unstable orbit, that's never going to change. So, like, you're just going to have to mess with it and do it.
Yep.
I think it's a 90-day experiment without biomes, right?
Yep.
So,
see if we can survive.
yeah.
I mean, we can station keep if we have to, I guess. Yeah, so who's ready to fly a Soyuz mission? Why are you inactive? May. Oh, I guess because you're inactive because you had that long mission. Oh God, I didn't start them training for Soyuz yet. That's bad.
Also, you had them cooped up in Voskhod.
No, the inactive ones were, but these folks. Oh no, they completed.
The ones that were inactive.
The ones that were in Voskhod didn't train for Soyuz yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, these people. These people are proficient. So we'll have one. Oh no, she's not. All right, I guess we'll fly a two-person Soyuz flight first. Well, let's stick Yana in there. It'll be expensive, but we got to start training. On the plus side, when Astronaut Complex completes, which it will very shortly, then training will be a lot faster. Which is an argument for completing it sooner, such that the prices go down a little bit, I think.
Yeah, if you're close to done on it already, which you are, very close.
Yeah. Yeah, these folks need their Soyuz proficiency training. Okay, now our budget is positive. So I guess let's hire some researchers. All right, that's a little better. But we just don't have the budget for much more, I think. Yeah. I'll do that, I guess. Because we do have a month to wait. So that's fine. That did speed things up a little bit, I think. All right, so the key thing, though, is we need to start building our launch complex to send a Soyuz around the moon. But I think actually that's going to be a can of worms, so I'll save that for another night.
Yeah, it's already pretty late.
Yeah, it is quite late. So yeah, that's a good place to stop. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me.
I
guess I should read Principia documentation to see if I can figure out how to help you better.
Yeah, I should read it too.
All right,
Oh, well.
see you later.
See you later. And thank you everyone for watching. I will catch you next time.